Yo, what's up, guys? It's me, it's that ERIC. I am the people's co-host, Eric Barnes. This is Raw is EBar, so let's get to it. Alright, so, the Raw after WrestleMania. WrestleMania had its ups and downs, we all know that. There was definitely some awesome moments, some great matches. There was also a couple of head scratchers. So, Raw begins with Vince coming out. And basically, he's gloating. He says that Undertaker defeated Shane just like he said that Undertaker would. He says for the first time, he finally mentions the lockbox again, basically leaving us all with one question.
What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
So then Shane ends up coming out. He just wants to say goodbye to the fans. He wants to thank the fans. It seemed legitimate during this. You know, he's kind of tearing up and whatnot. It was a pretty good segment. And so he says he's going to be a man about it and shakes Vince's hand. So even though Vince was just out there gloating about how he had won, how he doesn't have to worry about Shane anymore, he's just like, you know what? Even though The Undertaker beat you, let's negate the importance of this match completely. You're in control of Raw for the night, Shane. How about them apples?
Austin! Oh, son of a bitch! What? It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin!
Alright, so next on the agenda, the show opens in a pretty big way, of course, with Vince and Shane, and then you can't have a bigger first match than having the New Day. So, because the New Day lost the League of Nations at Mania, they had to put their titles on the line Monday night at Raw. I think we've learned in history that, especially when the titles are on the line, League of Nations cannot beat the New Day. And last night was no different, except for the fact that Sheamus got real upset once he realized that they had lost yet again. And so they kicked Wade Barrett out of the League of Nations, which was interesting. I've heard some people saying, does this mean that Wade Barrett's going to be a face, or is this the last we're seeing of Wade Barrett? I definitely hope it's not the last we're seeing of him. From what I understood, he still had a little bit of time left on his contract, so to just stop using him this early doesn't make a ton of sense to me. But who knows? As far as him being a face, a heel getting beaten up by other heels does not automatically make the first guy a good guy. I mean, you know, somehow that was the logic behind Randy Orton back in like 2004, and I guess it worked out. But here, not so much. The League of Nations isn't exactly evolution. I hope it's not the last we see of Barrett, but where does he go from here? Not really sure. So all that led to the Wyatts coming out to fight the League of Nations. I'm not sure what the agenda is here. Nothing that the Wyatts have said leading up to this have really had anything to do with League of Nations whatsoever. These cryptic tweets that they've put out, I don't understand how that had anything to do with League of Nations. It almost just seems more like maybe the Wyatts were searching for somebody that they could actually get a win over. And, you know, League of Nations was there. I'm really not sure where this feud's going to lead, so I guess that it could end up being interesting and good. We'll just have to see on that one, but looks like we're getting a Wyatt League of Nations feud. So we also got to see the debut on the main roster of Apollo Crews. I like Apollo Crews. He's definitely had some great matches in NXT so far. Not totally sure this would have been one of my first call-ups after Mania. He has had some good NXT matches, but he really hasn't been there that long. But, you know, this definitely could be cool. It just depends. It really just depends on the booking, you know. I could see him really having an impact. I could also see him just becoming the next black dude that's jobs to a lot of people, you know, and maybe used as a bigger dude to help put people over. I don't know. I hope that's not what happens. It looks like Tyler Breeze is now officially not only jobber to the stars, but also jobber to NXT people that are making debuts. But regardless, this was a fun little match. Honestly, I know that these two could have put on a really great match if they had been given more time, but I understand that this was just to kind of introduce fans to Apollo Crews and kind of show what he's all about. So I'm not having my hopes up too much for Apollo, even though I really enjoy him. But fingers crossed that he gets a good push. Okay, so it's really been no secret. If you've watched any of my videos, I'm not a huge fan of Roman Reigns. I've said 100 times maybe that he does have potential to be a big star, but what they're doing with him at this point, it's not good enough. I found the ending of WrestleMania to be incredibly boring. Nothing shocking or interesting happened. It was just, well, Roman beat Triple H, just like everybody knew what happened. So, I don't know, it's just a letdown. And then he comes out, and we've got JBL telling us, oh, this crowd, my God, they're going to cheer people they usually boo and boo people they usually cheer. No, JBL, that's not what's happening. Have you been watching Raw, JBL? It seems like you've been there, so you should know that people have been booing Roman Reigns for weeks. It has nothing to do with the post-WrestleMania Raw. I understand you probably have people watching because it is the post-WrestleMania Raw that don't normally watch, but you're insulting the intelligence of your fans that do watch week in and week out. So that was just stupid to say. He cuts a lackluster promo, nothing great about it. He's not lighting the world on fire. Oh, I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. I'm the guy. Okay, well, you're the guy that sucks. That's the guy that you are. So he's cutting a promo about how basically, he'll take on whoever wants a shot. So Chris Jericho comes out, followed by Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, and Sami Zayn. So it gets set up to have those four have a number one contendership match in the main event of the show. So that's good, but you know what's not good? Roman Reigns. So, sort of out of nowhere at WrestleMania, Baron Corbin was inserted into the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal and won. And that was pretty cool. I definitely hope they use it to their advantage. I mean, this is the third year of it. The first 2 years basically ended up meaning absolutely nothing. So, if the Andre Battle Royal winner doesn't capitalize on it, or it doesn't help to push somebody further than they would have been just normally, then I don't know what the point is. You're trying to honor Andre the Giant, but you haven't honored him at all so far with your booking of the winners of this Battle Royal. It's really made no difference to the careers of the first two that have won it. So I guess we'll see. But I definitely thought it was cool that they gave him that rub and that opportunity. And so then he makes his Raw debut the next night against Dolph Ziggler. I'm not sure if it's a coincidence that Dolph and Tyler Breeze were the two that get chosen to face these up-and-coming NXT guys. It seemed a little bit strange to me, but and then it ended with a double countout because Baron just got a little bit out of hand during this matchup and kind of forgot what was going on, which honestly would make a little sense with somebody just debuting on the main roster and just getting overly aggressive. So that was cool. We'll see where it goes. But, Baron Corbin has worked for a long time in NXT. He was in NXT just a ridiculously long time. He's been wanting to get up to the main roster. So you're here now, Corbin. Let's see what you can do. All right, so next up, you have the new Intercontinental Champion, Zack Ryder, coming out, cutting a feel-good promo about how, whenever he was a kid at WrestleMania 10, he saw Razor Ramon in the back and held his Intercontinental Championship, and now he's got a picture of Razor holding his Intercontinental Championship. Definitely a feel-good promo, feel-good moment. Basically the exact same thing that he had said last night at WrestleMania. This ends up getting interrupted by The Miz, who takes on Ryder for the Intercontinental Championship and wins. Because Maurice, who hasn't been on WWE TV in years, appears, and Zack's dad, and they get into it. So basically, I've got a few questions. Like, why give the guy the belt at all just to take it away one day later? Could this not have been a longer feud? What did The Miz do to be able to deserve a one-on-one shot for the Intercontinental Championship? And can Zack Ryder's dad pass a wellness test? I guess we'll find out.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
All right, so Charlotte is your new and first WWE Women's Champion of this new championship title era. Can't say that she doesn't deserve it. Obviously, I was hoping that Sasha would win, so were a lot of people, but I'm not going to hate on it. People wanted to make a big deal about how it's like sexist or misogynistic that Ric Flair was the determining factor in the women's championship match. It's not about it being a dude or a girl that interrupted that match. It's about Charlotte being a heel and her using heel tactics to win, as she has been. I mean, to me, it makes sense. I almost want to say that I could see where people would get upset about it, but I really can't. There's no reason to get upset about this. It was a heel doing what heels do, and that's basically it. I didn't have a problem with the ending of the Mania match at all. So she's coming out. She's trying to cut this really heartfelt promo so that it can lead into her cutting a heel promo, but the crowd basically won't let her because they're going crazy. They're chanting so many different things during this. Definitely a really cool women's wrestling chant. But one way or another, she got to the end of her promo where she was basically bagging on everybody and saying that, it was her that was the reason for all of this happening. She's talking to Becky and Sasha, and she's like, yeah, we did it. Well, I did it, but, everything kind of got jumped and lost in the shuffle just because the crowd was so crazy. So ended up with Sasha walking out, and then the rest decided to walk out, except for Natty. So it looks like there's going to be, some Natty Charlotte stuff going on for sure. Other than that, I don't know what to say except, hey, we want some Bayley. So we also had the debut of Enzo and Cass last night. The Dudleys were facing the Usos in a tables match, which I hope put an end to what's going on between the Dudleys and the Usos. It's been going on for a very long time. It's played out now that WrestleMania is over. So I hope the Usos can go on to different things. And it looks like the Dudleys are going to go on to a little feudski with Enzo and Cass. What can I say? You all saw Enzo and Cass were super over with this post-Mania crowd. I hope that they're able to keep the crowd hyped like they were last night in cities that, you know how some of the crowds can be, that they want to sit on their hands. Hopefully this is a team that can get the people out of their seats, get them chanting, and make people really feel something, because if last night was any indication, then these two are going to be a great tag team on the main roster. I just hope that they can keep this momentum going. It looks like they're going to have a little something going on with the Dudleys, so that could be very interesting, but I am curious as to where Carmella is. Maybe she's not ready in a wrestling capacity, although she put on a decent match not too long ago with Bayley. But it is what it is. If they decide it's not Carmella's time, that's fine. But she did add a little extra something to this team that I wouldn't mind seeing on the main roster. So yeah, probably of all the NXT stars that debuted on Raw, I don't think that I'm alone in saying that my highest hopes are for Enzo and Cass. And so, our main event was a fatal four-way match for the number one contendership for the World Heavyweight Championship. Sami Zayn got beat down earlier in the night by Kevin Owens, so he was out of the match. And who replaced him? A returning Cesaro. And good God, Cesaro was so over on Raw. It was really cool to see. But I really don't think that I know of anybody who doesn't like Cesaro. So it wasn't totally unexpected. It was definitely good to see him back. And if I was booking, I probably would have chosen Cesaro to go over because I wouldn't mind seeing Cesaro feud with Roman Reigns, but what we got was AJ Styles, and that should definitely be an interesting feud as well. These two have never faced off before. The only thing that I'm worried about is basically the 4 people in this match ending up being nothing more than fodder for Roman Reigns to go through on his way to maybe SummerSlam. So I definitely hope that that's not the case, but I am intrigued by the pairing of AJ Styles and Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship. If anybody can bring something good out of Roman, AJ's definitely one of those people. So while I think the wrong guy is champion, this should definitely be an interesting feud. Alright guys, that's all I've got for you this week. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought of WrestleMania, what you thought of Raw. What do you think is going to happen going forward? I'm definitely interested to hear what you all think. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the show at all. This has been Raw EBar. I am the People's co-host Eric Barnes, and we'll see you next week.